Today, we're going to be talking about top global destinations for expats when they're looking to travel abroad. I'm going to do things a little differently. I'm actually going to use ChatGPT for some help because I'm not an expert on travel destinations. I love traveling abroad. It brings me great joy. And since I am currently just living in the US and not an expat in the foreseeable future, traveling to different countries is an opportunity for me to be or to play a temporary expat. Last week, I did a video on or a live stream on transformational travel, and I thought it'd be a great follow up to then talk about some of the top destinations to travel in 2029. Sorry, 2025. Oh my gosh, I jumped 4 years ahead. So my name is Naina Kaputi. I'm the founder and CEO of the Expat Woman. And for the month of April and May, I have been going live every Thursday to talk about a specific topic. And this month, my topic is transformational travel. I see Marlena has joined me. Marlena has been my faithful watcher, live stream, I'd say guest, ever since I kicked it off last month. So it's lovely to see you here, Marlena. And thank you to everyone who will watch the replay later. So let me share my screen. And sometimes it takes a little while for the screen to show up. Marlena, you can let me know in the chat if you are able to see the screen. Just give it a couple of minutes because I know sometimes when I share my screen, it's black initially. Now I'm going to share my screen and share what ChatGPT has to say about top travel destinations. And I also need to plug in my laptop. I just realized it's not plugged in and I don't want it to die in the middle of the live stream. So let's get that going as well. And I chose travel for this month, transformational travel, because summer and vacations and travel around the corner once schools get out, and the weather in a lot of countries is really good at this time of the year. So I decided to choose this topic. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen. Yeah, here I have the chat GPT on. And Malena, let me know in the chat if you can see it. So now you know how chat GPT works, right? It pulls up ChatGPT pulls information from different sources and compiles it. So I did ask ChatGPT to give me the top 10 global travel destinations for expats. I did say 2025. You don't see it here, but yeah, Malena said she can see the screen. Excellent. So I can't memorize all this, and I thought I'd have it up because then you can also look at it, because I might not pronounce some of the stuff correctly. So at least this is a guide for you to look up as well. So let's start with Tokyo. So that's the first one that ChatGPT has suggested, and I was lucky to go to visit Tokyo, Japan last year. I know Kyoto is another suggestion as a top travel destination, but I decided to just focus on Tokyo because my family and I had a fabulous time, and I've been there because there's only two countries listed here out of the 10 that I visited. And let me know in the chat, or if you're watching this later in the comments, if you've been to any of these top 10 travel destinations that ChatGPT is suggesting. I want to see if I can hide the other chat. So yeah, okay. So this way you don't get distracted. I hit the sidebar. Okay, so Japan, Tokyo, a perfect blend of tradition and futurism. Think Sensoji temples, anime districts, sushi counters, and tech mega stores. We live very close to the Sensoji temple when we went to Japan last year, Tokyo. The Airbnb was just like, I think, a 10-minute walk from there. So I went at night, and then I went a couple of times in the daytime. I also met an expat woman from our community who used to live in the US and now lives in Tokyo. We met for coffee. The Starbucks was just outside the Sensoji temple. So we could sip our coffee and look at the temple. It was pretty cool. And it was also cool to meet someone who was connected with on LinkedIn in another country. Then there's anime districts, sushi counters, tech mega stores, and then adventure ride the Shinkansen explore Harajuku fashion, soak in an onsen. I didn't do any of those. I need to go back because it was not a long enough stay. Plus, I went with my kids and they were not really interested in doing much touristy stuff. They only wanted to go to the 7-Eleven and the McDonald's and then stay in the room and watch stuff on their phone, etc. And I think they did a little bit of shopping. I also, when I was asking ChatGPT to share the top destinations, I also was asking this AI tool to also tell me what kind of growth one can have when one travels to these countries. Because remember, this month our topic or our theme is transformational travel. So, how can travel also transform you? So, when you travel to a country like Japan or to the city Tokyo, it teaches you presence, mindfulness, and etiquette. Because there's a lot of etiquette in Japan. People are very polite. There's a lot of focus on mindfulness, about being present. And I will do another video about Japan. I have done a couple. I will link them in the description. But yeah, I agree with all this. So it's extremely safe for solo women travelers, even late at night. I felt really safe in Tokyo. My kids would go out to the 7-Eleven. They're teenagers. Like the younger two were uh 12 and 14 at that point, and they would go down to the 7-Eleven before it closed at 11 to get food. And they would go, wandering around. My oldest son is 18 was 18, so he was fine, but I didn't worry about them. I even saw school kids coming back alone from school on the train, in the bus, walking down the street. So I really love that about Japan. Again, any country you visit, you have to be careful. I mean, there'll always be that, maybe that one person that may not be, safe for you. But so I always say be wary, be alert. As I mentioned last week, I think in my transformational travel video, that in Switzerland I got pickpocketed and I'd least expected it. I thought Switzerland was a safe country. And again, it wasn't a Swiss person, it was a gypsy dressed up like a tourist. But so there can be other tourists that you have to be aware of. It may not be the local community. The affordability, and I think this is given from a American perspective. So you have to, whichever country you come from, you have to look at, a cost from the country you live in. So I think this is from a US dollar perspective. So the affordability is mid to high. Meals and transport are affordable. Accommodation can be pricey unless booked early or via capsule hotels. We stayed in an Airbnb. I think it was comparable to US Airbnb cost. It's much smaller though. It was really tiny. Like the bathroom you could hardly fit in. But it's what I liked about the Japan, like the bathrooms, the Airbnb. They make it compact, but everything, it's easy to get to everything. And the beds were on the floor. They were like, I think, really low. And the bathroom, of course, the toilets in Japan have heated seats and music playing. Like, if you don't want people to hear what you're doing in the bathroom, you can play music. It has the bidet, so it washes your, I know this is too much information being shared, but washes your behind. And then it also has like a jet to dry and warm it. I mean, it's all pretty cool. You have to figure it out. It's like figuring out technology. But once we got the hang of it, it was like, wow, this is amazing. So, and then finally, it's great for solo travelers, organized explorers, families with teens. Yeah, as I said, my teens loved it. They ate so much 7-Eleven food, and I wanted to add the 7-Elevens in Japan are very different than the 7-Elevens in the US. Because in Japan, you can sit down and eat there. They have some tables and chairs. There's hot water for you to make your noodles. The sandwiches are just amazing. They're so delicious. And then they have all kinds of Japanese foods as well. Right now I can't get the name. It's like a triangle. It's rice wrapped in seaweed, and it has a filling. It could be salmon and other kinds of fillings. My mind is going blank right now. So if you know what I'm talking about, it's delicious. And I found them all pretty reasonable price, because again, I was comparing with US prices and I thought it was pretty good. My kids loved the McDonald's, and they were buying all these drinks that you don't get in the US, like I think green grape soda. And they said they even like the burgers and stuff. They like trying McDonald's in different countries because it's never the same. And the Starbucks too had some unusual drinks. And of course, the Japanese food was just amazing. I tried a lot of snacks as well and ice creams. I'm a foodie, so I just loved trying all of it, and it was just so fascinating. All right, so that is Japan. Yeah, Malena, and anyone else joining, if you want to jump in and share in the chat what are your favorite countries or global destinations you visited and why, go ahead and let me know. So I'm not the only one talking. But yeah, my experience with Japan was amazing. The next one that ChatGPT has listed is Morocco. I have not been to Morocco, uh, but one of our expat women community members, her name is Habiba, is hosting trips to Morocco. I did interview her, I believe, last year when I used to do interviews with expat women who are very successful. She was also a sponsor for a couple of our events. It's called Trekking with Pals or Trekking Pals. I'll link to the video in the description of my interview with her, and then you'll get links to all her different countries she goes to. We might be doing a partnership where for expat women who want to visit Morocco. But yes, she is from Morocco, and I recently went to and she recently brought Moroccan food to one of our events as well. It was delicious. So, what does ChatGPT have to say about Morocco? It says it's a sensory explosion, markets, mint tea, call to prayer, and centuries old architecture. The adventurous camel rides in the Sahara, Medina maze walks, hammams, spice tours. It all sounds amazing. I've been to Egypt and I went for a camel ride in Egypt. And, of course, over there too, we could hear the call to prayer and centuries old architecture with the pyramids and stuff. But I guess Egypt's not listed right now, maybe because of all, everything that's happening in the Middle East. In terms of growth or your travel transformation, it builds flexibility and intuition in unfamiliar settings. Safety for, again, it for women, especially busy areas, are safe. You have to be street smart. I think that, as I said, goes for anywhere in the world, even the country you live in. You always have to be wary and of your surroundings. Solo women should dress conservatively and avoid isolated areas at night. It says it's very affordable for lodging, food, and local guides, and great for adventurous women, creative souls, cultural immersion lovers. And again, the affordability, I think, is from an American perspective. So if you live in another country, and you can use ChatGPT, you can join Facebook groups for these countries, and you can, there's so much research you can do now to prepare for your trip abroad. The next one is Peru, Cusco, and Machu Picchu. I haven't been to this country either. I'd love to visit this one as well. I mean, I love to visit every country, every city in the world, but I don't know if that's possible. So culture is Incan. Heritage means vibrant markets and mountain village life. The adventure is, go to on the Inca Trail, Sacred Valley, hiking and high altitude discovery. Growth reconnects you to nature and your body strength. I know a lot of people do hikes, they go up, Machu Picchu, etc. Safety, generally safe with common sense precautions. And of course, if you're climbing, you need to acclimate to the altitude. I know people do a lot of training before they go on these, Machu Picchu treks, etc. Affordability, mid-range, budget-friendly food and hotels. Machu Picchu treks can add cost. For solo women, it's great for solo women, hiking groups, adventurous families with older kids. So I think a lot of people go there because they want to climb, go on the treks on to Machu Picchu. Next one is Italy. So Italy, the Amalfi Coast, not anywhere else in Italy, but this one ChatGPT picked as one of the top global destinations for expats to visit. Culture, sun-drenched villages, fresh pasta, and slow travel. I love the slow travel part of it. Of course, sun-drenched villages and fresh pasta sounds great as well. Adventure to boat rides, cliffside hikes, coastal towns. Growth invites you to slow down and truly savor life. So important because a lot of places we visit as tourists, we just want to go, 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 see everything, absorb everything, eat everything, and then we need a vacation when we come back from our vacation, right? In this case, with slow travel and savoring everything. So it's more a relaxing trip. There's not obviously not much to see based like in the other parts of Italy, but you can do the cliffside hikes, you can enjoy the coastal towns. It's very safe for solo travelers and families. And this I can imagine. I mean, it is expensive. I know Italy in general is expensive. It's high during peak summer, more accessible off season, May to September. It's great for romantic travelers, families, luxury seekers. Yeah, so Marlena doesn't have any favorites yet. She says maybe Slovakia. I like to go around some villages to see real life. That sounds amazing, Marlena. Okay, so the next one is South Africa, Cape Town. Again, this is not my list. This is what ChatGPT pulled up when I said, what are the top global destinations for expats in 2025? So, South Africa, Cape Town, it's diverse and rich. Colonial history meets vibrant local art, cuisine, and music. The adventure safari, shark cage diving, wine country. I mean, the shark cage diving sounds scary. I think I saw a movie about how they went down in the cage to see the sharks, and maybe the chain broke. It was I don't know if it was based on a true story or it was a documentary. It was just like a fictional narrative film, but I just remember like how scary it was. I don't remember how what happened at the end, but yeah, that when I think of shark cage diving, that's what I think about it. Like it's your worst nightmare come true. And then it's got a lot of wine country. Growth for visiting South Africa, Cape Town is powerful lessons in history, race, and resilience. Yeah, which I'm sure there's a lot of that. Safety varies by area. Best to go with a guide or stay in tourist safe zones. Ideal for group or family travel. I notice here they don't say for solo women. So, and I know some parts are not very safe. So this makes sense. Affordability, very affordable for food, lodging, and tours. Great for families, curious learners, couples, group travel. I know why it listed it as one of the top 10 destinations because I also spoke about safety, but maybe a lot of people are going this year to Cape Town, so it's more. I think ChatGPT chose this because we're talking about maybe families and couples. Okay, the next one is Turkey, Istanbul. Let me just East culture, East meets West with ancient mosques, spice markets, and European cafes. I mean, that sounds amazing, right? A juxtaposition of East and West. You get like the best of both worlds. Adventure cruise the Bosphorus, balloon over Cappadocia, explore bazaars. Growth expands your view of religion, culture, and coexistence. I think that's so important because I'm not going to go into it, but I think traveling to countries where of different religions, of different ways of life, different thinking, is a great learning lesson because sometimes we have preconceived notions, we tend to judge, and it just teaches us so much more. Safety, very safe in tourist areas, culturally conservative, modest dressed helps avoid unwanted attention. Even in Japan, like you are encouraged to dress modestly out of respect for Japanese people. We went in July last year and it was so hot, but all the local Japanese folk were dressed like in long sleeve shirts with either long pants or long skirts, and especially when you visit temples, they advise you not to wear shorts or sleeveless clothes. I was so hot, unfortunately. Some when we were going shopping and I was walking around, I had to buy shorts because I only brought pants and I think long skirts, and it was so hot I thought I'd pass out. So I went to a store in very close to the hotel in a mall and I bought a pair of shorts and I think some cotton shirts because it was just, yeah, unbearable. Anyway, coming back to Turkey, Istanbul, it's affordability, great value. Meals, hotels, and tours are budget friendly. Great for solo travelers, mother daughter trips, cultural explorers. So when my daughter's older, we could go to Turkey, Istanbul. I'd love to. It sounds fascinating, and I've seen photographs and videos. I'd also like to go to Morocco. I like to go to all these countries listed here. All right, the next one is Iceland, the Ring Road. Cultures, Nordic stories, geothermal energy, eco-conscious living. I love the eco-conscious living. Adventure is glaciers, geysers, waterfalls, Blue Lagoon, and the Northern Lights. I do so want to see the Northern Lights. I think maybe was it sometime this year that in California you could get a glimpse of the Northern Lights. I didn't see them, but I think that's what happened. Growth, nature at its purest, strips away noise and reconnects you with awe, because especially the Northern Lights and the blue look, I mean, it's all natural, as listed here. It's nature at its purest, and how beautiful and amazing that is better than any man-made structures, I would say. Safety, one of the safest countries in the world, even for solo travelers. Affordability is high. Car rentals, food, and hotels are expensive, but you can save with group travel or camping. Great for nature lovers, road trippers, families with older kids, because there's not much to do with younger kids. It looks like there's a lot of, because there's so much nature around. Unless you have kids that love being outdoors and would enjoy this. All right. The next, number 8, is Mexico, Oaxaca. Indigenous roots, colorful art, mezcal, and festivals like Day of the Dead. So I guess if you want to enjoy the Day of the Dead, you have to go on, I believe it's November 1st or November 2nd. It's a day, 1 or 2 days after Thanksgiving. I should know because it's a big deal here in the Bay Area, especially in the Mission District in San Francisco. Adventures, cooking classes, ruins, natural hot springs. Growth teaches community and joyful tradition. Safer than many assume, Oaxaca is one of the more stable regions. Avoid late night travel. I know some people say, oh, Mexico's not safe unless you go to one of the resorts. Again, you have to do your homework, and you have to talk to other people who've been to any of these places and get their feedback. That's why I always join Facebook groups before I travel to any country or any city, to ask questions, to hear from people what it's like in that city or country. Affordability, very budget friendly for food, lodging, and experiences. Great for solo women, families, foodies, creative retreats. Number 9 is New Zealand, Queenstown. So I went to Australia too last year. We went for a cousin's wedding. We only went to Australia. We couldn't go to New Zealand. I would have liked to. I heard it's so beautiful. So maybe there's a trip there as well. So New Zealand, Queenstown, the culture's Maori traditions and stunning modern day respect for nature, adventure skydiving, hiking, boating, bungee jumping. So the transformation you can get, the growth you can get, is sparks bravery and appreciation for earth. Safety, exceptionally safe for women and families. That's awesome. You always want to feel safe, and especially if you're traveling alone or with kids. Affordability, mid to high. Tours and transportations are the major costs. Australia was, I think, similar to the US in terms of the costs, food and Airbnbs and travel and stuff. It's great for outdoor lovers, soul seekers, active families. And finally, number 10 is France, Paris. So that's the other city and country I've been to a couple of times. Culture's timeless elegance, museums, cuisine, language, and romance. I remember the first time I went to Paris, I was single, and I told myself I want to come back when I have a partner or when I'm married. So we did go back a couple of years ago. Of course, it was my husband and my kids, so couldn't be as romantic as we'd like it to be. The adventures, art walks, day trips to Versailles, wine tasting in the countryside. Growth reawakens creativity and style. I mean, it is the museums, the art, it just is so, there's so much culture. Safety, safe for solo travelers, but beware of pickpockets in crowded areas. And we were so lucky. We went and saw the Eiffel Tower, and then it was kind of late at night, and then we stopped at a restaurant. I was trying to find traditional French food. I think we finally found it, maybe, but we sat down. It was like outdoor seating, and it was on a back alley, so not a very nice area, back alley of the Eiffel Tower. You'd think around the Eiffel Tower would be beautiful, but it seemed a little sketchy. And I guess it was later, it was kind of late at night, and for some reason, everyone left the table at some point, including me, and I left my backpack there, outdoor seating. It had our passports, it had all our money. We are so lucky it didn't get stolen. And then we came back, and I realized I'd left it there. So uh, sometimes you're lucky, and sometimes, like what happened in Switzerland, I wasn't lucky. Anyway, so these are the top 10 cities, countries that ChatGPT has suggested. We visit. Okay, you're seeing the. Okay, let me go back to my live stream. So I stopped the scrolling. So, like, if you're watching this, as I said, live, or later when you watch the replay, let me know in the comments, or let me know in the chat, which of these countries would you like to visit? Have you visited any of them? Uh, or is there somewhere else you'd suggest we add to the top 10 global destinations for expats for 2025, or even beyond? I'm trying to think of other countries that I mean, Switzerland was beautiful. Every country I've traveled to, and I've maybe about 20 at this point, every country I've traveled to, I've loved, I've fallen in love. They're so diverse, the culture might be very different. So I would list all of them if I could, but we'll go with Chat GPT for this. And so as I said before, I will link the description, I will link the videos I've done on travel in the description, so you can get a sense of the transformational travel of the interviews I've done with travel coaches and adventure travel experts. So it's all going to be like amazing, getting this whole series. If you're watching this for the first time, do subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed as yet. Do like this video. In fact, right now, while you're watching, do hit the like button. It does help YouTube to see how people have enjoyed the video, and then show it to more people. So I always love that. I'm creating these live streams just because I don't have the time to do recordings and then edit and then upload. So live streams are kind of a lazy, easy way to do it. I have started doing one video a week where I record, edit, and upload. But for travel, and these monthly themes, I prefer to do live streams. So Malina said she's been to none of them except France. France, I think, is a destination for a lot of people. I mean, I think a country that we grew up learning about, no matter where we are in the world. But it's always fun to learn about other countries and discover them. All right. So today's was a short episode. Usually we go on for an hour. Next week we'll be talking about travel apps, products that you take along when you travel. So if there's something that you've used to while you've traveled abroad, either an app, a service, or a product, let me know in the chat, or let me know in the comments, so I can cover it in my live stream. Again, I think I will have to uh, pull up my trusted chat GPT to share some of it, or I'll have to have notes. But there are some apps and products that I use regularly, so I'll definitely cover those. It'll be next Thursday at 9 a.m. PST, and then every Monday I have started another live stream series talking about how to grow how to build, grow, and monetize your YouTube channel, because I just think it's so important for expats. And if you love to travel, you could create a travel YouTube channel. You could shoot one in the city you live in. Like Malena, you live in Sacramento. You could start doing travel videos about Sacramento. Again, you want to do something in your niche, in your area of expertise. But the reason why I encourage expat women, to do videos is it's such a great way to showcase your experience, your expertise. You're living in another country, because there are so many women like you living across the world, and the best way to get people, to inspire people, to educate them, to empower them, is through video. Video is so powerful, and YouTube's owned by Google. So if someone searches how to how do expat women love living in Sacramento, because Marlena lives there, you start doing videos about that. Or, if, I also know Marlena is a graphic designer, so she could start doing videos about, brand colors, using different platforms. So again, I know video is not for everyone, but if there are folks in this community, the expat woman community, my YouTube subscribers, who are thinking maybe somewhere down the line, I want to create a YouTube channel, or already have a YouTube channel and want to go along with me for the YouTube journey, every Monday at 10 a.m. PST, I'm doing a live stream. I started this week, and I'm covering my what I've done for the week in terms of growing my YouTube channel. I'm sharing analytics, and I'm learning as I go. So I'm also at the beginning of my journey, even though the Expat Woman YouTube channel has been around for 8 years. I was just uploading stuff on it. Yeah. Oh, Bianca's here. Oh, wow, Bianca. How lovely that you're joining us. And Bianca, I started this channel, this YouTube series a couple of months ago. I started doing these videos, but I was shooting them and recording them, and it was a lot of work. So now I just go live stream every Monday and walk you through what I've done for the week, the lessons learned with videos I've created, anything new I've learned on YouTube, and then tapping into my analytics, and then I of course can answer any questions. But I'm telling you, I'm Bianca knows, I've told her this, that I'm kind of an introvert. I don't like being on camera, but as I've been doing more of it, I'm actually enjoying it. And I'm just being authentic. I'm being myself. And live streams actually help you just be yourself, because when I have to record my YouTube videos, and especially this a script, then I find myself being very like, what's the word? Very rigid. I don't seem like myself, like I'm talking to people, and I'm hoping to get over that and being more natural when I'm recording. But when I do live streams, you can get away with saying, oh, my mind went blank, etc. Thank you so much, Bianca. Yeah, being yourself and natural, and I think people connect with that. But as I said, when I record, I get a little more stiff, because I feel I can't get away with making so many mistakes, and then I think, oh my gosh, now I have to edit out all those times where my mind went blank, or I stumbled on a word, or I had a long pause. And I've seen some videos where people actually, I just watched a video yesterday where this woman is she recorded her YouTube, and her mind went blank. And then every time her mind went blank and she lost her train of thought, she had like the sound of crickets um, playing in the background. And then she's like, and sometimes she repeated herself. And I thought that's, very authentic. I actually liked her style. So maybe I'll try that, because editing is such a nightmare, having to cut out everything. Bianca, I know you're late to the party, but are there any countries out of the list that I shared, or any countries you visited that you would recommend to folks uh, who are interested in traveling abroad, before I end this live stream? Yeah, Marlena said she's not sure. She doesn't have any favorites yet. So I was curious if you had any countries you would recommend. And while we're doing that, I want to thank everyone for watching this video. I I will see you soon next week for my live stream on how to grow and monetize your YouTube channel on Monday at 10 a.m. PST. And then on Thursday, I will do the travel apps and travel products, like a review. So I will see you then. And Bianca says one of my favorites is South Africa. I want to go back if I can afford, but Japan is also on top 10. Awesome. Yeah, I know it's going to happen, Bianca. Your business is going to take off, and then you're going to be traveling the world. All right. Thank you all so much. Bye. Have a wonderful rest of the day, evening, night.